Hey there, it's Miss Campbell. I'm going to go through the test review with you guys so that you can work them out. And if you have any questions on it, hopefully this will help explain it for you. So the first one says, which expression is equivalent to 8 to the power 15 times 8 to the power 4 times 8? So y'all remember there is here a 1 on that 8 right there. And when we're multiplying things with exponents on it, what we have to do is go through and add our exponents. So we would do 15 plus 4 plus 1. And then that would give us our total for the exponents there. So 15 plus 4 is 19, plus 1 more is 20. So our correct answer would be 8 to the power of 20. All right. So now our next question here. It says, let me erase the other one here. Which expression is equivalent to 6 to the power 15 divided by 6 to the power 5? Remember, we are dividing. That's the opposite of multiplying. So we're going to be subtracting our exponents this time. So you would do 15 minus 5, and we'll end up with 6 to the power of 10. It's always the top exponent minus the bottom. So 6 to the power of 10. Okay, so let me erase that one, and we'll go on to our next question. All right, so this next question here, it says, if we have x to the power 5 times x to some power of y, and that equals to x to the power 15, what is the value of y? So they're basically asking us, okay, we know we're multiplying these two things with x's, so we know when we multiply them, we have to add their exponents. So 5 plus what is 15? Well, we know 5 plus what is 15? Well, we know that that question mark has to be 10. So our answer would be 10. Okay, our next question here. It says we have x to the power of y times x to the power of 8, and that equals to 14. Well, this is just like the other one that we had before. So we're saying basically 8 plus what is 14? So we know that 8 plus 6 would be 14. Okay, I'll erase that. Okay, our next question, they're saying, what is another way to write a to the power of 2 times a to the power of 6? So remember, if you have two sets of parentheses next to each other, you are multiplying them. So you're going to be adding your exponents. So just do 2 plus 6, and so we would get a to the power of 8. So a to the power of 8, because we did 2 plus 6, and that's 8. Okay, so our next question here, question 6. All right, so question 6 is just like the one that we just did here. So we see two sets of parentheses next to each other. So that means that we are multiplying. So what are we going to end up doing with our exponents? We're going to end up adding. So if you do 4 plus 3, you would get 7. So we would get a to the power of 7. All right, so this one here, it says, what is 5 to the power of 8? And then to the power of 0 there in simplest form. So everybody, the key thing here, you don't have to know what 5 to the power of 8 is. You just have to see here that we have this power of 0. If you remember, anything to the power of 0 is always going to be equal to the same number. And it's always going to be equal to 1. So anytime you see something to that power of 0, you can replace it with 1. Okay, so again, look at this. This looks complicated. We haven't done this kind of problem yet, right? But what do we know? Anything to the power of 0 is always going to be 1. I don't care what's inside there. If you have that power of 0, it's always going to be 1. Okay, so this one again, this is another quotient rule because we are dividing. It looks like a fraction we're dividing. So now we're just asking, okay, 3 to the power of 5 divided by 3 to the power of 2. What's that going to be? Again, since we're dividing, we're going to be subtracting our exponents. So we would do 5 minus 2. It's always top exponent minus bottom. So 5 minus 2. So we would end up with 3 to the power of 3. So yes, it will be that first one there. All right, here's our next one. We have 8 to the power of 12 being divided by 8 to the power of 2. So again, we're just subtracting our exponents. So 12 minus 2. So we will get 8 to the power of 10. So there you go. Okay. All right, our next question here. They're asking us to match the expression that goes, so we're just going to work out this expression and then find its answer down here. So the first one, we're going to multiply our regular numbers like normal. So we're going to do 3 times 2, so that's 6. And then now we go and we look at our exponents on our matching letters. So we have x to the power of 1 and x to the power of 2. Remember, we add our exponents, so this one's going to be x to the power of 3. And then we'll do that with the y. So we have y to the power of 2 here and y to the power of 1 there. So y to the power of 3. So we have x to the power of 3 and y to the power of 3. All right, our next one here, it's quotient rule. So we're going to be dividing our regular numbers like normal. So 24 divided by 2 is going to be 12. And then now we will go deal with our exponents here. So we're subtracting. So we have x to the power of 4 on top and x to the power of 1 on the bottom. So we would do 4 minus 1. So you would end up with x to the power of 3. And then our next one here, we have y to the power of 1 on top and y to the power of 1 on the bottom. Now, when you see the same thing on the top and the bottom, those are going to cancel out. And if you think about it, y to the power of 1 over y to the power of 1, we would do 1 minus 1 for their exponents, which would give us y to the power of 0, which would make that equal to 1. So we would be multiplying by 1 here on the end, but that's not going to change anything. So it's just 12x to the power of 3. Okay. Next one here, we have another quotient rule. So we'll do 36 divided by 6. So that's going to give us 6. And then we have x to the power of 6 over x to the power of 3. So 6 minus 3 would be x to the power of 3. And then for the y's, we have y to the 4th over y to the power of 1. So we would have 4 minus 1. So it's going to be y to the power of 3 as well. Okay. And then our next one here, we have 4. And then we're going to multiply here. So 4 times 3, that's going to be 12. Okay, 4 times 3 is going to be 12. Then we have x to the power of 4, and then we have x to the power of negative 2. So we're going to do 4 plus negative 2. So in your calculator, you would be doing 4 plus negative 2 because we are multiplying here. And 4 plus negative 2 is going to be 2. So we'll have x to the power of 2. And then for the y's, we have y to the power of 5 here and y to the power of 1. So we'll have y to the power of 6. So those would be the 4 choices that you would get from down here. All right. So let me erase that for us. And we'll go on to our next question. right, so now question number 12. Sorry, I mean 13 here. Okay, so question number 13. So now we've got another quotient rule here on this one. So I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. So we got another quotient rule. So we have 20 divided by 5, so that's going to give us 4. And then now we have x to the power of 6 over x to the power of 4. So we would do 6 minus 4, and 6 minus 4 is 2, so we have x to the power of 2. And then for the y's, we have y to the power of 3 here and y to the power of 1 down there. So we would do 3 minus 1, which is 2, so we would have y to the power of 2. And then the z, remember, they each have a 1 on them, and 1 minus 1 would give us z to the power of 0, which is just 1. So we would be multiplying by 1 here, but that wouldn't do anything. That wouldn't change anything. So we don't put that part. So there's our final answer. So 4x squared y squared. So it'd be that answer choice right there. Okay. I'll zoom out again. Scroll down. So that was question 13. All right, and it looks like here we've got our last question, question 14. So let me erase this really quick for us. And we'll zoom in again. All right, so here's our last question there. It says, which expression is equivalent to, and we got this, and we see it's a fraction, so we know it's quotient rule, we're dividing. So again, regular numbers divide like normal, and then for the exponents, you're going to subtract. Okay, so 30 divided by 2 is going to be 15. And then x to the power of 6 over x to the power of 4 would be x to the power of 2, because 6 minus 4 is 2. And now for the y's, again, we have 6 minus 2 this time. So we have y to the power of 4, because 6 minus 2 is 4. And then for the z, I don't have another z on the bottom, so it's not going to change. So I just have z on the end there. So we have 15x to the power of 2, so that eliminates those. And then we have y to the 4th, and then z. So it's our first one there. All right, guys, so that is the whole review. We've gone through every question, so hopefully you're able to find where you made some mistakes, and then you'll be ready for tomorrow's test. See you later.